facts. These are the facts.
I tell you what it's all about.
Facts. Here's what's going down on the streets, peeps.
You're listening to Facts.
These are the facts.
What have you heard? These are the facts.
What you listening to?
These are the facts.
Yep, Ketebza.
It's your boy Comes on the Mail Alpha, the dominator of the frequencies and the airwaves at large.
And it's your sexy chubby nigga Vuyo, and I'm on the sidelines today.
We had to kick VRR today because, like we promised last week, today is going to be a very, very thrilling show. Debs are giving the lowdown.
So the reason as to why Vuyo's on the sidelines is that we have a very special guest in the building. Okay, my brother, Mr. Nick Explicit.
I don't have a cool intro like you guys. Yo, this is Nick Explicit, a.k.a. the Landkeeper.
Yes.
I don't have any of that.
Come on
that still
with it.
sounds cool, to be honest.
I like it.
Debs on his plane. It's Debs.
Yep, Ketebza. That's all I gotta say. So I brought Nick in, guys, because, you know, we were really going in hard about the hip-hop stuff for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And if there's one person that I know knows hip-hop, it's Nick. Okay? So, Nick, go crazy. Go in at us. Okay, I'm not as knowledgeable as I thought I was, clearly. So, be free. We boys, we used to work together, me and Nick.
Shout out.
Now we're here doing the things. Nick, actually, when I was still in UJ, I aspired to be like him at UJFM.
Wow.
He was on UJFM.
Yeah.
But he's never sent me nudes, and I only found out afterwards. So it was a bit disappointing. I mean, after varsity, he was like, "Hey, I had a crush on you."
No, do you know what happened?
It's kind of creepy that you mentioned nudes. Do's on, wow, guys, like I'm speechless.
Hashtag send you. No, so what happened with Nick, because, you know, at UJ, you have to, like, do auditions and stuff.
Okay.
And I think, Nick, at the time, you had the afternoon drive show.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And I was like, yo, because obviously when I listen to the show, the radio show you want to be on, and I listen to every single on-air talent, and Nick Explicit was like the guy, right? You still had AB the Costa and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but when you listen to a show like that, I think you kind of like look at it and you think to yourself, how can I better what he's doing at the moment? And that's what I generally do as well whenever I listen to a show as well. I'm like, how can I better the show than what it is?
Yeah.
So that was you.
That was me.
You were looking at my flaws and you're like, I think you're better than this ninja.
I could twist this up a bit.
Yeah. So I auditioned, made it to the final round. I went to EJFM, recorded my voice, didn't get a call back. Went my second year, didn't get past the first round. I was like, okay, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. Fast forward to where we are now. I met Nick where I was before, and now he's my brother. You know, he's my homie. And so when I first started the podcast, I said to Nick, Nipsey Hussle's death for me was a hectic death, and not in terms of the impact it had on the people in America, right? Mm-hmm. And I texted Nick. I said, Nick, we need to speak about this, because what I want to speak about Nipsey Hussle's legacy, and basically create a thread and ask ourselves, do we actually in South Africa right now have those kind of artists where we can say, God forbid something happens to them, they're creating something so influential that it's not only the music we linger to, but it's basically what they're doing in their community. I mean, people are not crying because Nipsey Hussle passed away and his music is not going to live on. They're crying, and they say because he was doing so much for his community. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you guys think about that.
I think, you know what, throughout sort of like the ages with hip-hop, we've gone through a phase where we've lost great artists. Pac, Biggie, for example, they left a legacy, and they spoke about the social ills, and so did Nipsey Hussle. I mean, it impacts the communities in a major way, because you aspire to be that guy, and you know, it's almost like a lot of people describe it in the same format as you describe MMA. A lot of the guys who join MMA, it's kind of like it's their fight for their life. Guys like Mike Tyson in boxing. Mike Tyson had one option, and that was to knock mofos out, and as many of them as possible. That was his bread and butter. That was his way out of the ghetto. And for a lot of people who looked up to Nipsey and Pac and Biggie, and even Proof, for example, Proof from D12, who also passed away under sketchy circumstances in Detroit after blowing up with Eminem and D12.
Sure.
He was also a big giver back to the community. And that impacts them a lot, because you think to yourself, here I am, we're making it out, we're making a difference in our community, and then we almost hit a 360, and it's back at square one, unfortunately.
And I love how you throw it back to like the South African industry, you know what I mean? Because like a lot of South African, people who are within the industry, whether it be sports, whether it be music, like you question yourself as to like what legacy have they left on. We talk about Pro Kid, recently passed away. Did he leave a legacy? You know what I mean? Double HP, did he leave a legacy? So I love how you thread it back into our sphere of music in South Africa.
Yeah.
So nah, big ups to that, man.
So like the pro conversation.
Yeah.
Can we say that what Pro left is sort of like a culture? There's a culture that he created. The kind of music he made, Zakwe. You know that raw.
Yeah.
From Soweto kind of sound where it's from the heart type of thing. Can you say that maybe what he left behind is that culture of hip hop, and is still here today, where that rawness of the hood, the ghetto that is Soweto, where it's literally rough around the edges. You don't really go over and above to create these amazing music videos where they fancy and flossy. They're out there in the streets with the. I know Questa's still there, but like there was something about Pro Kid's music where after he passed away, what hit the people again, in my opinion, is not. It is the music, but it's also the culture that has not left and has to stay behind.
Look, there are very few right now in the game that actually follow up into Pro's footsteps, right? You look at artists such as F-Eazy, right?
Yeah.
He would submit his music to radio stations and it doesn't get played. You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of these people that actually still continue that culture, but then again, we do not hear much about them. So we have to literally go onto our search engines and try to find them out. Like, okay, sharp, who is carrying out that legacy? And there's quite a few of them, and they still make good music. Like you said, they do not have to go through extreme lengths in order to do those music. And it's artists that actually make their music within their background, within their backroom studios. You know what I mean? It's nothing flashy. It's nothing fancy. It's nothing over the top. It's simple, straightforward. It's all about the bars. It's all about the lyrics. It's all about maintaining a certain culture, not these mumbo jumbo rappers that you hear now.
Look, I think also in South Africa we have a terrible culture of just breaking down artists. When artists go through a hard time, we brush them aside and we forget them. We've done this with tons. We did this unfortunately with Pro Kid when Pro Kid's albums weren't selling.
Yeah.
But you got to understand one thing as well, is that if you're a true listener of hip hop, and if you're one of those listeners that just listens for bars, the best way I would compare hip hop is to your variety of cheeses that you might have. So you've got your mumble rappers, you've got your dirty Sprite rappers, you've got your bars rappers, and you could categorize them into this is mozzarella, this is brie, this is blue cheese.
I actually love that analogy.
And the reality is, someone, for example, might love blue cheese. So if we're going to use Ben Sharper, for example, as a blue cheese, a very refined, a very distinct taste to a specific person, that cheese wouldn't necessarily sell commercially onto a pizza that you want to order it with. You'd want your mozzarella, which would be in the form of your AKA, certain Questa songs, certain Zakwe songs. And that's what people need to understand. I personally, I mean, from rapping with guys like Pro Kid, Zubs and Sugar Smacks, these guys, when we had started, it was all about bars. And then what we started and where we were involved, the next kid who came up after us saw a new way of pushing it and saw a new gimmick, saw a new way.
Okay,
there was Crunk at one point that had blew up and everybody loved Crunk. We despised it because I personally think we didn't understand it. And we didn't try the taste. Maybe it wasn't for us. So you sit in this environment where you think to yourself, but he wasn't commercially successful, so therefore he's not a great artist. In the US, there are rappers who can sell 100,000 albums and still survive and not go global. And that's what you got to understand, is that here we have a very small community. Here we think, gold, diamond, we've made it as artists. But we don't, unfortunately. And it goes back to, look at MT at the moment. The constant social media harassment just goes to show. I mean, Kid's made his mistakes. Don't get me wrong. He's not perfect. He's had his run-ins with his record label. The alleged car accidents, the dirty Sprite that he's been enjoying, whether it's true or whether it's not true. But the reality is that he's in a situation right now where he needs to decide, am I going to pick up my career, or am I just going to become another rapper on the list who was here for a while and then disappeared?
And
that's the legacy we're fighting.
And that's a big thing. I mean, because for me right now, I'm sort of torn, because I can't really tell you exactly where I feel hip-hop is at the moment, because especially in South Africa, mostly in South Africa, because like you said, it's different kind of cheeses, right? And all of these guys they all sound different, and they serve a particular niche. I'm the kind of guy that would listen to Reason the whole day. I'd listen to Zabs the whole day.
But you see, there are fans who will say, "Oh, but Reason isn't giving us the reasoning stuff. Reason
thought
has now
about that
become
once, yeah.
soft when he started doing Do It Like I Can. When he did
Yeah.
it for the girls, Reason is a sellout now.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah, yeah.
But he
there
had
are
to do
people
that.
who
That's-
want
yeah.
you to stick to that specific sound,
Yeah.
and they don't evolve with you when you grow as an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So-
think that's another problem because I think during our first podcast we also made mention of Dumi versus Stogie T.
Yeah.
Right? Like you are a bar giver. You
Yeah.
are that hip hop artist, right? And then the music industry around you changes and then you also have to change with it, right?
Yeah.
And then this is where the fallout of fans comes in. Like, okay, Sharp, he's no longer serving bars, he's now on the level of MT trying to compete with these youngsters.
Yeah.
How then do you integrate that culture of bars into the modern hip hop scene?
I don't know, because I believe that artists need to stay true to themselves.
How
That's the thing.
does Eminem still manage to get playlisted when he does
Exactly.
stuff like Rap God? How is it possible?
Yeah, no, as the title says, he is a rap god.
Stay true to your art. If
Yeah.
that's
True.
if that's what
That's
you
what I'm
love.
thinking. Yeah.
You know what? I believe like no matter what music you release, the first person that should be happy about it is you.
Yeah.
True.
If you are happy with it, if you're
Yeah.
happy and you feel
If
like
you don't feel
this
like-
song is the song,
Yeah.
then F what everybody else says.
Be true to yourself. Let the fans be the ones that are fickle. Let them change, trying to find what they
don't
can
shake.
identify with.
Yeah.
Do not shake as an artist. Like,
Yeah.
stick to your ground, stick to your guns. It worked for you in the past.
Yeah.
Yes, try to amplify it just a bit by
Yeah,
just
yeah.
tweaking a couple of things, but do not change who you are entirely completely because there are still people who look for the bars. There are still people who look for that cypher type of feel to
Yeah.
rap. You know what I mean? Not everyone is going to be interested in this mumbo jumbo rap. When Dumi changed his name to Stogie T, I was like, oh gosh, here we go
Yeah.
again. Another artist who's changing just
Yeah.
to fit in, just to make the
So
bucks.
is it an essence thing? Have you maybe lost the essence of hip hop in South Africa?
In SA, I would say yes.
I think we're going through a transformation shape. We're just not sure where we are.
It happens. It's a transition phase. Like you say, basically the old guys are now finding like a norm for them.
Yeah.
Whereas there's new up and coming guys who are now trying to break through. Like
Yeah.
I was recently, there's a guy named DB. He's a very good artist. He recently released an EP not too long ago. There's a few artists on the come up. Kid Teeny, even though he's a bit quiet here and there, but he is a solid. He'll give you bars, even if he was beefing with Aries, who's another good artist.
Yeah.
Shane Eagle, Nasty C, like they on the come up.
Aries is fire.
So
Yeah.
you just got to listen to them, watch out for them because they are coming. They are quick, fast. You know, it's how it works usually.
So then, if I'm a hip hop artist, and I'm looking at where the game is right now, what kind of music will then would I want to now go make?
Make
Because-
whatever makes you happy. Because look at Questa. Questa
Yeah.
did Boom Shakalaka before he did Ngut, before he did Vervai.
Yeah.
Questa's always been true to his sound. That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, that is
always
true.
been Questa. You know when he first released the jam that he did with Kid X, Boom Shakalaka.
Yeah.
Nobody, it blew up, but nobody really looked at Questa.
Yeah, I
Like,
wouldn't lie. I
and then
overlooked
suddenly Good comes out, and everyone's like, oh, but
Yeah.
Questa's always been here.
Yeah.
We've just never paid attention to him.
Yeah, that's true.
That
And
is
he stayed true to his sound. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, for example, with the BET nominations, I personally believe when they look to nominate an artist or an artist to win, I think the first thing they look at is originality, and they think to themselves, who's this artist? Look at the winners that have come from South Africa. We've had guys like Black Coffee,
Yeah.
who's a phenomenal DJ, phenomenal producer. We've had Sjava win. Sjava's won it as well. Sjava's got that distinct sound. You can put Sjava amongst 10 rappers and you can be like, that's
Yeah,
Sjava.
that's
That's
True,
Java, yeah,
true.
distinct. Yeah.
Shoma Josie's no difference.
I agree.
Now, no disrespect to anybody who might be rapping in English or who might be using autotune, how are you different from an American brand?
Facts.
I all my life I've had to fight the stigma of there's another Eminem. Thank God it wasn't Vanilla Ice, but there's that's the thing.
Yeah.
We've had to
Ice,
fight
Ice,
it.
baby.
Yeah.
You know, today we have tons of them. We've got NF, we've got G-Eazy,
Yes.
we've got Post Malone, so there's plenty of rappers.
Vuyo's Logic.
Logic is biracial.
Yeah,
He's
Logic,
black.
That's like
His pops he's basically a Drake. He's
We'll give
a
you-
Drake. He's a J Cole.
we'll give you 6ix9ine, but we'll keep Logic. Okay, you can get 6ix9ine. Takeshi 6ix9ine is yours.
No. You can take Takeshi. You know, I think we have enough of issues with the black people in jail. You know, so you can have him. You know. Okay, so me as a curious as a hip hop listener, what do you think? Why do you think there isn't like more supergroups such as the Wu-Tang Clan in terms of now? I know the Beast Coast released, if you know about Beast Coast,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm trying to figure out, like, in your opinion, why do you think there's less Wu-Tang Clan type art?
Funny enough,
come up?
you should mention that because I was thinking about that this week as well, and I thought to myself, well, we've had Tear Gas and
Yes.
we've had Squad.
Again,
and
yes.
we I mean, there was Asylum Tribe, Murafe, yeah, but that was like early days.
Yeah.
And I look at it and I think to myself, has there really been a super group of rappers? And I just can't think of any.
I kind of have my own theories to why groups don't work anymore right now. People don't want to share money, man. And you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but there comes a time when people wanna be in the forefront. So you look at Morafe, for example. Who was the Kulichan and the likes, right?
Yeah,
Totally.
that whole Mutswaka
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
But one will be more successful than the other. So there'll be dudes out there that are gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna go rather make my own money than say I'm gonna do this thing with my group, because you're gonna realize that I'm more talented than the next guy. So why don't I just move forward and do my own thing? You know what I'm saying? That is my opinion on it. I think that's why maybe there aren't as many groups as there used to be. I mean, Squatter Camp also for the culture were amazing.
True.
But who in the group have actually been successful, and why have they been successful? Sugar Smacks, we liked him because he was a bit more, he's goofy, he's funny, but he had rhymes. So he was in a way, he had his own personality. Slicker, you know. But then there were other dudes. This is what Laskin guy that I'm forgetting about right now, right? Who was also part of Squatter Camp. But there were certain artists.
Infa?
I wouldn't know.
So.
I wouldn't even remember.
It's been a while.
Flabber? No, Flabber was from
Flabber, yeah, but Flabber as well is somebody that, you know, he had his own thing that you knew, should he go independent, he's gonna be successful. So I think in terms of groups, in my opinion, that's what it is that some of these dudes right now think I'll be better off making my own money.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can join me in the studio, we can hang. We can maybe do a couple of songs, but I don't see myself wanting to do music with you. Like last week you mentioned P. Diddy wanting to do that whole group thing again. I said, I don't think it's going to work. Boy bands in 2019, and it's not going to work for me.
You know, you look at boy bands, and since One Direction have split, there's a gap, and there's a gap that needs to be filled.
Yes.
There are teens out there
There are
who
teens
want
who
to.
Okay, maybe in that degree, if you're looking at like a pop standpoint, if you're looking at like creating songs for these teenagers that want to have fun and gush over these good-looking kids with great hairlines, then that's fine. But if you now talking about hip hop, like, dude, if somebody else had to say to me, create your own group, I'd say in my group I want Reason, I want Sturgy T, and maybe put in the Ginger Troll, and yeah, but that's not gonna happen because dudes right now want to do their own thing.
Remember the whole thing of creating like groups, right? It's to basically put these kids who are not in the spotlight, right? So that's the whole aim of a group. So if you're mentioning all these superstars, like you want to have your started lineup, right? Not a lot of people want to listen to that because it's going to be a clash of egos, right? Because I see groups from a standpoint whereby rather have one veteran and then he will groom them out. Like that whole P. Diddy thing. Like P. Diddy is a veteran within the hip-hop scene, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how much he's contributed, but he's a veteran. So for him to actually put his head on the line saying, I feel like bringing this back, he will be the mentor. And then he will look at these young kids that are actually hungry. Do not bring in the likes of MT. Do not bring in the likes of Aries. They have already established themselves. Rather bring them on as mentors to these young kids. And then these young kids can learn from them as to, okay, Shap, you did your flaws. You had your flops in this and this and that and that. Teach me how to become better. Teach me how to avoid certain things, especially with contractual disputes. So groups are basically for the up and coming, not for the already established.
I think it depends. If you look at a group like The Roots,
Yeah.
they're still making music, right?
Well,
for their people.
Yeah, and they're part of Jimmy.
And they're
Kimmel's
part of
shows.
Jimmy Fallon, yeah.
Jimmy
So
Fallon,
it's a thing of, like I said, it's an ego thing. Right now we're living in an age where, I mean, those are OGs, man. The Roots, those are OGs. You know, if right now I want to start a group, I want to make sure that my verse is better than your verse. I'm not thinking about team dynamics. They're not thinking about it's about superstardom right now.
I don't see it that way because, like
I think it's about superstardom.
Like
right
I said, there's the faction in the US called Beast Coast released the album Escape from New York, and it's 10 guys or 10 or so guys, and they from different groups. They collaborated a couple of times together, and it gels well. So I don't think it necessarily is a thing of, okay, I'm gonna try and score like a bigger verse than you, and then, oh snap, whatever, how am I gonna come at you after that? I feel it's a situation of, if we come together, try to make a song sound right together, because if you're gonna come all now trying to one up each other, it's not gonna work that way. That it doesn't usually work that way, because with them, like, certainly there are songs that but they still having fun. I think that's the important thing. If you're gonna make a group about, okay, I'm gonna try body you, and make sure that I'm the one who's getting the shine, then it doesn't really work, because, like, okay, the constituents of the group is Pro Era, which is Joey Badass, Kirk Knight, and what's his name, Nick Caution. And then on the other side, which is the Flatbush Zombies, which has Michi Darko, Eric the Architect, and Zombie Juice. And then there's another group, I can't think of it right now. They gel well because they've had a couple of songs. Like, if you look back, because they've like been around for a long time also, and if you look back in each of their albums, somewhere there you see the guy from these different factions in a song of theirs. Even with TDE, they occasionally do it with like a single track, like the Black Hippie group, which is basically Kendrick, J-Rock, Absol, and Schoolboy Q. They do it, and it's not about, okay, I'm trying to
But that's not a consistent thing, is it?
I think they kind of stopped it for about, but for in like the main like two albums, each one had a song where they released.
But that's the point I'm trying to make, is that right now in this day and age, can you actually have a proper hip hop group creating music at a proper level where you still have another Kendrick Lamar, J-Rock, and Schoolboy Q in one group?
Look, whenever we've had these groups, we've always had artists that have slipped under the radar who have not gotten commercial appeal. So you need those gap fillers.
Yeah,
they're not necessarily bad rappers.
Yeah,
they just purely there as a group. They sound nice because you get different sounds from each. But
do you think that can work in 2019 though?
I think it can with the right combination. You know, it's just the right combination. I mean, you got the right bunch of rappers in there, and it can work for you. Like for example, with that jam that they did, Miss Prue, when she was with, well, not that she's left, but with Ambitious.
Yes.
I mean,
that was a good song.
That sounded like a whole. That sounded like a rap fraternity or group of rappers that could actually sound well.
And they weren't trying to body each other or anything. They were just collaborative. Like,
but within those, you had those significant, ambitious talent that were.
They were all significant.
Even though you had significant ones, no one wanted to body the other. It was a collective.
Yeah.
We're creating music for the people, and we're not trying to one up the other. Right? They all had individual careers at that time.
Yeah.
But when they did that collaboration, it sounded good.
Hence why I'm saying I don't see it being consistent.
No,
it's very sensational if you're gonna do it like a collaborative effort on a song, and then still go to studio and do your song, your own music or your own album or whatever it may be. But consistently every day, if you're artist of that level, can it be a consistent thing? In my opinion, I don't think it can.
Look, if you've got that much talent on the one record label, then why not? Because Young Money did it. Young Money released an album with all of its artists.
Yeah.
And that sounds good. And I think that helps promote everybody. So if my mass appeal, if for example I'm Benchmark and you're MT and I'm trying to tap into your market and now we sound great on a song, we can both get booked and you can help elevate my following and my mass appeal a little bit more, which is exactly what they did.
I was actually about to bring up Benchmark right now.
Okay.
To say, like, to ask where are they? Are they still making music?
Release an album soon.
They're making singles here and there. We still get submissions at UJ, so they're still out here. Yeah.
So they're still out here popping.
Yeah, they're still there. I know they're gonna release an EP or I haven't checked when, but I think they are soon.
Okay, but our artists right now in SA, I think holistically, not only hip hop, are they creating music where it's sort of creating like a legacy feel? Like the artists we're listening to now. I mean Johnny Clegg has passed, right?
Yeah.
And he's somebody that we're playing his songs from back then, and we feel like he left a legacy. Like we say, we're young. We young dudes, 25-year-old. You know, we just
don't
chilling
expose
here.
my age, please.
But we,
Jeez, this man.
But we here, we just thinking. Yeah, our parents used to jam to his music, but his legacy in a way lives through to a point where even now, his death hit. You know, and his music, I listened to him like, wow, I felt something. Do we still have that right now going forward? Like going back to the Nipsey Hussle thing.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
we have artists right now that we can say they're leaving a legacy?
In SA, when you mention artists that are leaving a legacy, the only person that I can point to right now, it has to be Big Star Johnson.
Why Big Star?
He's starting an academy in the township for nurturing these young kids that are coming into the industry, which I think is a great thing because they need guidance. You know what I mean? So that he's the first person that strikes to mind.
Do you think his music will live on for
his
20
music?
years from now?
Look, I recently listened to his latest album, and it sounds good, right? And I feel like with cats such as MT, with cats such as Aries, he's different from them, right? But for him to sustain that and to answer your question, is he going to live on for long? I doubt it. Because like his music is not, it's not for everyone. Not everyone would be like, say, I listen to Big Star Johnson. Have you listened to his track Pablo?
No.
See what I mean? And that's a great track.
Yeah.
But because he doesn't talk about things that you relate to in the modern era of hip hop, like your Casper Noves, your AKA people who are more sensationalized, he won't necessarily cater for everyone. So to answer your question, I doubt that he's gonna live on because for me, he's a conscious rapper. And in South Africa, we don't look forward to conscious rappers anymore. It's all about, I'm turning up in the club, this beat sounds great. You know what I mean? It's all about that vibe. And I really
So
doubt
you're saying
that
his legacy is basically him using where his platform,
Yeah.
so to speak, to help his community
Yeah,
from a music standpoint now.
Yeah.
So that's the legacy he's leaving.
I think that's
Yeah.
the legacy that's
Yeah.
gonna live on for him right now because like he's doing big things. You know, how many artists have you heard, especially in South Africa, that actually start up academies and they actually see it through?
Look, I mean that's what I'm asking because after Nipsey passed, DJ's Boo flew to America.
Hi, man.
Let's
DJ
go-
Smith,
Hi,
celebrity.
man.
He's
not a hip-hop
No.
Don't do that.
No,
Don't.
don't
He
do
does.
that.
He does
No.
not represent the
Nick,
hip hop
no.
fraternity.
Nick,
No,
a
guys.
lot of people.
We
could
gotta
have
check
went
the lining of your pockets if this is being paid by Mofire after this.
Yeah, honestly, like, dude, is he sponsoring us all of a sudden? Like,
I'm not saying it.
Putting us
Look,
in
I'm not.
cans
Look,
or
I've got like DJ's Boo's one of the guys I look up to. I
Yeah.
think he's a great guy.
Sure.
There's a lot happening in your country that I'd rather you focused on than you going to the States to pay homage to.
But what have you done to contribute towards hip hop? What have you done?
I'd rather have a
The albums that came under your record label that ProKid released were not even on iTunes when ProKid passed away.
Ooh.
What have you done?
That
That
is
is
Facts.
that
The
is
two
facts.
albums that were up
Facts.
were the Gallo released albums.
Yeah.
What have you done? That's what I want to know. Those albums were off streaming sites. He was
Yeah.
not making money off of Spotify, off of Deezer, and the rest of the platforms. What have you done? That's what I want to know. Look, don't get me wrong. A great guy. I've met him. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's got a great hustle.
I think he's great.
I think he's got a great sales pitch.
Yes.
But what have you done is what I want to ask. You're talking about Big Star opening up a school, an academy, and then we talk about greatness of artists. I personally believe when we say, do we leave a legacy as artists?
Yeah.
Here's the things that I would compare them to. Do you have an album that you can bump timelessly, such as
Yes.
Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubts? Do you have an Illmatic? Do you have a Dr. Dre The
Come on,
Chronic?
Nick.
Do you have a Marshall Mathers LP?
Oh, snap.
Good kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
Good kid.
Yeah, Good
Dish
Kid,
it,
Mad
dish
City.
it,
There
yeah.
we go. Do you have, and I mean, you can agree to disagree, The Heist by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
That's.
Oh my gosh.
You know, there was a lot of
controversy
controversy
Grammys, yes.
about him winning a Grammy.
Yes.
And I listened to Kendrick's album and I listened to Macklemore's album and I thought to myself, I know why it won.
Yeah.
Because at the time he was talking about things that nobody else was talking about. He was
Yes.
talking about accepting homosexuality. He was talking about fighting alcoholism
Yeah.
and failing it and looking like a failure in front of his sobriety officers. And these are things where it was a dreamer's album. It was like, yo, I'm here.
Yeah.
So when we say, do we have artists that will leave a legacy? Do we have artists that you could put in those categories? I would say with Java, yes.
Yes.
With ProKid, Heads and Tails, yes.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
AKA's Alter Ego.
Yes.
Forget everything else.
Yes.
Alter Ego.
I agree with that.
There was a jam on it, All I Know, which to
Oh,
this day is still
this
my
is
favorite
a jam, bro.
Yeah, it's still my
It's
favorite
still a jam. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Questa's The Car 1 and 2.
Oh yes.
Washim Kuku Mkuku Function by Squatter.
Yes.
Those are all albums that would fit in there. In fact, I would go far as saying when Slick was releasing the Ventilation albums, the first two were really nice. They're artists, they're legacies, but you know what? We live in a radio era where we don't play stuff. TKZ's been dormant for the longest time ever, and then suddenly this year, everyone's like, Allah, there's TKZ, we're going to stop playing. Oh, we love this place. And we jump on the bandwagon. Why have we not been playing TKZ all along?
Because we believe the hype.
We'll be playing Warren G regulate, but we won't play our own stuff.
Yeah.
We are fickle.
So
Which goes back to we just don't support each other.
But also, I mean, you mentioned AKA now and the alter ego, right? And when that album came out with All I Know and the likes, I always feel like there's something about an MC that is still hungry, bro. Because AKA at the time wasn't really who he is now. I mean, the bars that are coming out.
I mean, he once said, "I want it all from the ground to the sky to the head, the
even
floor."
that song,
Yes.
I mean,
Come on,
and
man.
it begs the question: where is hip hop now? And do we have those artists that are still as hungry? Because when Nasty C came up, when they're still doing ciphers in a school uniform, I'm not saying he's lost it. I think it's still there, but right now, for example, I can't honestly listen to a full, like, this is my fact, right? I can't honestly listen to a full Casper and Your Vest album.
Casper, for example, Casper's another one with his first album, Solo Fellow. I felt like it was a good album.
That was decent.
Yeah, Tsibip was my jam.
Yeah, Tsibip
I
was
felt
a
like
jam.
Tsibip was my
quite
jam.
good. Okay, I think
Tsibip
Casper
was a
will
jam.
leave a legacy from a musical standpoint, but I'm thinking in terms of like groundbreaking.
What kind of
look,
legacy is he?
No, but he's made. I think
he'll-
he's made music that'll stick,
No,
dude.
it won't stick.
Nah.
It's
Dog
soundbite
Shebeleza?
music. When was the last time you heard Dog Shebeleza?
Oh, that you hear kids singing it when you're walking somewhere.
When was the last time you heard
When
it?
was the last time you heard
You know
it?
what I'm saying? You
Because
still
the
play it on
last
radio.
time I remember listening to radio, I heard Nati Mpula, like.
But even music like that.
Don't come at me.
I mean,
about,
the songs that he made recently, like a song like Mama Made It, technically is a nice song, but from a standpoint of it gives me that thing that is gonna be on, it's gonna play on for a long time, and I'll still be jamming it or hear a kid while I'm walking through town. Go eat off,
when
singing it. It's not the case.
when you blow up on your first album or on your second album, you think to yourself, do I still talk about my hunger, or do I
That's
talk
the
about
thing,
what I have
yeah.
now? And that's where you find yourself in a position.
Yeah.
Fiddy went through the same thing. Fiddy's Get Rich or Die Trying was pure gangster album.
Yeah.
He was killing people. The Massacre, same thing. He just went a little bit commercial. Curtis was I Get Money. That was one of the singles. Straight to the Bank was another single. And then AO Technology with
That was a jam.
with
Funny
Justin
enough,
Timberlake.
that was a jam.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
Yeah.
But that was like a complete commercial turnaround for 50. 50 was no longer telling you that he's got a vest on and he's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, an artist, that's the direction that he grew.
Yeah.
Kanye, same thing. When Kanye did College Dropout, Late Registration, and then
Yes,
Graduation, which was kind of like, I feel like Graduation was his best album
I still
ever.
today still think it is.
And then afterwards, it just kind of, you reached your peak and you're like, oh, what do I do now? Where do I go with this? Let's do 808 and Heartbreak. Don't get me wrong. In terms of his production, he's a musical genius who can turn a vocal harmony into a main melody on a song and then hum a bass line. It's great. But at the end of the day, he's changed directions. Do we have legacy artists? I think we do. I think we are just, in the politest way ever, we spoil brats and we do not appreciate.
Are we not doing enough to appreciate?
I don't think we're doing enough to appreciate it.
Actually.
But what can we do? I mean, like, we buy their albums, we go to their shows, they have their own promotion to get.
If an artist goes broke
yeah,
after leaving a record label, that's not on us. That's purely on him and mismanagement and lack of funds. When MT blew up and I saw the cars that he was getting, and I look at just random celebrities and the cars that they get, guys, on an ML64 or 63 AMG, which is your SUV vehicle. It runs on an air suspension. If one of these shocks goes, you're looking between anything between 20 and 40 grand to replace one shock. The tires are coming in at about 10 grand a pop.
yeah.
Now, is it a want versus a need? I need to look like I'm rolling, but do I want,
No.
Yeah.
Rather drive a Capitanto.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's,
And that's the thing, like, humble yourself. You know what?
True.
Have a savings pocket.
Sit
I mean,
down.
Yeah.
We were having this chat at O'Brien. My friend was like, yo, if there was one thing you could do, like go back 20 years, what would you tell the rappers of back in the day? What would you tell Dog Pound Gang and Warren G and Nate Dogg? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, my man, I would go there and I'd tell them, save, gents. Save.
Yeah.
Because
industry
this is not
cruel,
going to last
man.
forever. Save your money. And that's what artists don't do. Artists spend like the next album is going to go platinum and the next hit is going to give them another 100 bookings.
Facts,
Yeah, no, that's right.
But most of these artists right now are only eating on based on their shows. And it's like that desire to really. I mean, I always felt like whenever artists went into the studio, there was sort of like a ritual. Like you're gonna go in there, and there's something in you writing to this beat. And,
still treated
but
like that.
I don't feel like
They are
you can
still-
hear it in the music which artist is hungry, and which is what I'm saying. I don't feel like our artists in this day and age are as hungry as they used to be. You know, I don't feel like they're as hungry as they used to be. They're so mellow, they're so chilled, and they feel I can make 100K doing a show this weekend. I don't really need to go and give them like the best bars that I can possibly give.
Look, in terms of rap these days, your success and your skills is determined by the amount of followers you have on social media.
Sad fact. That is
If you've
a
got
sad fact.
100,000 followers, that means you must be a dope rapper.
Yeah.
No matter what you release, everyone
Yeah.
says, "Oh, that's the dopest stuff I've ever heard." And that's the society we live in, where it's smoking mirrors. That's what it is.
So where do you think South African hip hop is now? Where do you think South African artists are right now as a whole? And do you think they can do more in the industry to actually make us? I mean, the fact that we're getting so many BET nods in the last couple of years already, I feel like we're doing something right. But do you think there's more that we can do to actually inhabit the fact that the talent is there? Let's channel in something different to actually take us to a whole other level where we can get to like a Davido level, Wizkid level, Burna Boy level, where we can be because I mean those guys are on a different level. These Nigerian folks are on a different. I mean these Nigerians guys, they keep winning one up after one up. Our women
Because they are
So
supported, chief. They are supported,
You know,
chief.
But-
supported.
But I mean the thing about those artists is that, and I'm not big on African music like your Nigerian hip hop and stuff, but I think that if something sounds good, you're going to listen to, and I find myself really enjoying a song by Davido, and you'll echo the words of the song because the song is nice, but that's who they are, and you feel like they're always pushing to get to a level that is higher than where they are in the moment. And do you feel like maybe in SA our artists are not doing that too much because they're being too caught up in the superficial? Are they too comfortable?
I think Nick mentioned it earlier on.
Yeah.
Like originality goes a long
Thank you.
way.
Yeah.
Right. You look at these Nigerian artists that you're mentioning.
Yeah.
It's their theme. They stick into it, right? In South Africa, Nick also said this again. We are Americanizing our hip hop industry.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're finding it hard to identify as, is that AKA or is that AKA 2.0 who went to the States?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is that Casper Nyovest or is that Casper Nyovest who was showing off on Sway in the morning?
Yes.
You know, are we sticking to our original identity?
Yeah.
Which I would say 100% we are not. You know, he mentions Java, which is one of a few artists that you can
Yeah.
mention that are sticking to originality,
Yeah.
and they are getting the BET nods.
I mean, I would love to hear Java going in on Sway and doing a freestyle, and it's
Yeah.
only pure of an act. That would be so for the country and our hip hop. It would be so amazing if that would actually happen.
Bringing back that whole Sway thing, I think I also mentioned this during our second podcast. They invited Stogie T, and what
Yeah.
we found there was a Doomy.
Yeah.
He went back to his original roots, and then the
He
people
went
in the
in.
States actually liked it because he went in. He was bar for bar. You know what I mean? And then you find an AKA who went on to Sway. You found a Casper Nyovest who went on to Sway, and then they sounded American. It was like,
Yes.
am I listening to
Also
Sway?
went there and he sounded like himself, and they
Yeah.
still liked it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so something-
Questa sounded like himself. Like Hyena is a hit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
He
mean?
was Quest on Sway.
He was on
Yeah, he
Sway.
He was on Sway.
And he dropped bars.
Yeah.
Bars, my G. Nasty C dropped bars. He stuck to his originality
Yeah,
that
Nasty.
made him
And
Nasty
he's
C.
got a feature with Ferg. Come on,
Yeah.
that's like one
Come on,
big-
man.
that's
Yeah.
it. Ferg and French Montana also, even before the fame, like
Yeah.
that major hype. So
Yeah.
understand, Nasty is doing things way more than your AKAs.
Is
and
that
Casper.
right now basically our baton holder?
I think anybody who's true to themselves and who's delivering it in a South African way is
True to
Big
himself,
Zulu's another one who I just remembered,
Yeah.
Zakwe.
Yes.
Oh,
ish.
yeah.
There's lots of guys. I mean,
Yeah.
Duncan as well. And you know what? This is the beauty about music. For example, Zakwe. I don't understand everything because sometimes it's too quick. But
Yeah, no, he's
music,
power.
you feel it. You
Yeah.
feel what he says,
Yeah.
and you feel that punch, and you just feel that rhythm, and you're like, whatever he's saying, I know it's dope, and I know that it's got a punch somewhere there, and it's gonna make me go, ooh.
Yeah, he's definitely
That's the thing, and
the punches.
that's what we need.
Yeah.
We need. I'm not saying don't rap in English. I'm not saying don't use auto tune, but if
Make it
you
more home.
don't complain, then don't complain if you do not win global awards. Don't complain.
Funny that you mentioned that. Last week we also spoke about Nadia Nakai.
Yes.
Nicki Minaj, basically.
Yeah.
She sounds more Nicki Minaj than Nadia Nakai.
I was actually gonna speak about that now, like female MCs or female rappers in South Africa. I mean,
Okay, female.
Rouge, Patrick Monroe.
No personal grudge against Nomuzi at all. But when we're talking about young Mapr, I feel like Gigi Lamaine does it more than
Gigi
she
Lamaine
does.
is a
I feel like if you had to
With the
put them
one-man
all,
show also, one-woman
and you
show
think to
correction.
yourself, who is the real young Mapr evolved? It would be Gigi Lamaine, and I love Gigi. I love them all. I think they all do a great contribution. I just think wrong title, self-claimed title to the wrong person.
You know why I like Gigi? Gigi goes back to that rawness of like, I want this. No Muzi, she's out here in the streets. She's always looking good. Like, you think her life I mean, she's out here making, what is this, fake accidents. You think she did, and you have Gigi Lamaine, who's honestly going through hectic stuff. Like, I used to work somewhere where I got to meet Gigi Lamaine, and my friend Nell Fingers was Gigi Lamaine's DJ. So before she came up, and she hasn't changed till now. She's still this raw
originality,
this young raw girl that still has the same producer from what I still understand, and still making music to his core. She has a latest song. I forgot the name. I heard it on Wire the other day, and it's a banger.
Yeah,
it's a banger, and that is why I'm thinking it's also maybe with the male guys is that some are hungrier than others. Like, I'll honestly listen to Gigi Lamaine because I believe her. Nadia Nakai, I'm not gonna believe Nadia Nakai.
No.
Besides that, no bars.
No bars
It's-
whatsoever.
I think it's superficial.
You see, it goes down to my cheeses conversation.
Yeah.
She could be a camembert, she could be a brioche, she could be a white cheddar, and you're like, I don't feel like she's my cup of tea. She might not have the bars, but she's got mass appeal. She's got followers. She's just not our cup of tea. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all that it is.
Yeah. What's your take on Rouge?
I think Rouge is dope. Rouge fits in the category of rappers that I like to listen to. I think Rouge is street. Rouge has got a punch, and she does it for me. But that does not mean that I could sit here and I could say Rouge is the greatest rapper, and then someone could come in and say, no, I feel like Muesli is the greatest rapper.
Yeah.
Each to his own, God for all.
Do you think Muzi can
That's
rap?
what it goes down to. And when they put together these rapper lists.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's an opinion based on 5 or 10 people in a room who say, I like this about hip hop and I feel this is my top 10 list.
Yeah.
This doesn't mean globally it's the top 10 list.
No.
Look at for example the Forbes list, the richest list.
Yeah.
When rappers get released, does that mean that those are the best rappers?
No.
Hell no.
No.
That just means those are the 10 rappers who have commercialized it the best, who have managed to milk the industry for every cent that it's worth, from endorsement deals to records to streamings to maybe their own merchandise and concerts. That's all that it means. It doesn't mean that they're the greatest.
So sometimes I feel like there are certain people out there that just want to do music for the sake of doing music.
Boity. Sorry.
I
I just had to. I'm sorry.
I was getting there, and the reason is to, like, I asked you now, do you think Muzi can rap, right? And she's somebody who, she started off in presenting. She maybe hung out with a lot of these rapper dudes, and she felt like, I could write a hot 16. Maybe go all the way and
In my opinion, I think she'll give you a good chorus, a good hook.
Yeah. So
Otherwise,
what do you think is making Boiti such?
It's people are just falling for the hype, I think.
Is it a hype thing? Because I don't think she sounds good from the
Well,
jump.
Boiti's first single was with Nasty C,
Yeah.
and you could hear Nasty C's contribution in terms of her writing.
She wrote, he
I got a
definitely wrote.
foreigner in my garage. Like, that is pure nasty. That's nasty.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
But Kai was probably maybe her a little bit experimenting with what she wants to do.
Voice.
But other than that, like, look, it's 2 songs. It's still too early to determine whether she's a good rapper or a bad rapper, I feel. Give us an
Really?
album. Let's see what your content is about.
So you want to give her a chance?
I want to hear an album. I think, she makes, like I said, she's got an audience. She's not my cup of tea. She's not your cup of tea. But there are thousands of kids out there who put her number 1 on iTunes because they felt like she was their cup of tea.
Are they putting her number 1 because she was a celebrity first, or is it because her raps are actually out there?
Well, here's the thing. Do you think kids listen to raps today? Do you think they give a damn about how many bars you have? Do you think they care about how many words Eminem can fit into rap God? No, they don't.
Nah.
If I say it's hot and you say it's hot and he retweets it and he likes it, then we all assume it's hot. You know?
That's true.
Smoking mirrors, that's all that it is.
Yeah.
Celebrities turned rap
Things
gods.
things trend because somebody thought it was cool and then somebody else jumped on it and this one retweeted and that one retweeted and then suddenly, you know, like I see how people search for relevance on social media.
Yeah.
And we'll probably go a little bit political here. Somebody posted for Nelson Mandela Day, I feel Mandela is overrated. And then I read the comments underneath, and there was about maybe 50, 60 comments. Oh, definitely, you're talking the truth, sister. You this, you that. Oh, yes, he was a sellout. And I'm like, I sit there and I think to myself, how did he sell out? Did he sell you a dream that he didn't deliver on? He promised freedom. We got freedom.
Yeah.
He said they were going to give houses, but okay, not everybody got a house.
Yeah.
What did he sell out? Did he sell out because now your e-wallet is dried up and now you're looking for relevance and you're looking for you're looking for more followers? That's how I see it as.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like, you know, what Tata Madiba did was, you know, fought for freedom. You had two options.
Yeah.
You had two options and you look back at it. And I've always kind of like analyzed what's happened in African countries with liberation leaders.
Yeah.
There were two options. There was 94 comes, we're not negotiating, we don't want anything. White folks, pack your stuff. You can catch a plane, catch a boat, get out of here.
Yeah.
Then what happens? Economy collapses. Production is down. Nobody knows how most of this machinery works. We got to start building from scratch. You know, then we start a lack of resources. You know, the rand isn't worth anything.
Yeah.
And then what happens? You inherit a country that is worth nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
And then your freedom comes in the form of famine and in the form of no currency. Whereas it was, let's share. Which I felt was the better option. You know, we must share, but we get preference, and then we'll make it work. Yeah, it's not. I'm not saying that this system is perfect, but it's way better than option number one.
True.
It's way better than option number one.
Yeah.
And every leader, even Samora Michel, all he wanted freedom for his people, and he says, we want to have whatever the Portuguese have. We want to go to the same schools as the Portuguese, the hospitals, the police stations, the restaurants. That's all that we want.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to, is that social media has portrayed this thing of the more shocking you are, the better you are.
I was about to say, you know, people on social media feel like if I can stir something, I can stir something, even though you know that what you're saying is bullets.
Like why are we surprised that Little Nas X is gay? Why is that still in 2019? Why? Oh, he's a gay rapper.
Yeah.
And Flex Rabanyani went at him and he was like, oh, y'all didn't celebrate when I was single. That's what Flex said. In a country where we still use corrective rape, where people still believe that homosexuality is witchcraft and that you need to be prayed and it can be beaten out of you.
Yeah, sure.
A influential figure goes and posts a stupid tweet like that just to look for relevance. Because his album isn't doing good, because he beefed with Reason and it didn't work out, because he's trying to resurrect his career and he's starting a logistics company. It baffles me why you would say something so stupid.
Yeah.
You know, if Little Nas X is gay, so what? Is that going to change your perspective about his music? Are you going to
if
hate
the music is still
it?
good, that's like people asking me. It's like people asking me, do you still listen to Frank Ocean?
Yeah,
And I'm
Of
like,
course you
of
still
course I
listen
listen
to
to Frank Ocean.
Exactly.
Why? Pink and white,
You know,
Noble King, come on.
I mean, look, people just love to be controversial. They like to be they like to be extra, and they like getting a reaction out of people.
Have you noticed how AK has calmed down on social media?
Yeah.
now? Because everybody realizes that dick that you get on social media, nobody wants anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that person anymore. I don't want to follow a person who's about drama 24/7.
Comes the things AKA has eased up because he was with Bonang. Bonang set him straight, and now they're cool. And now he feels like, you know, I'm a
Well,
dad.
can I ask, does Bonang tweet the same stuff that he used to tweet?
Not necessarily. Do you follow Bonang still?
I follow Bonang.
And I just see her.
I think
retweeting
Bonang
her.
shows love to her followers.
That's true.
Bonang has never posted a picture enjoying lobster in Cape Town. How's your pie? You know, that's probably got to be one of the most disrespectful tweets in my top 10 that I think, and I look back and I think, these are kids who bought your album. These are kids who download your song.
Yeah.
Nick, man.
And it's a big deal. It's a big deal because I'll tell you why. A eat-in meal for 4 at Woolies is $150, and so is a gig of data. And I'm out here supporting you, and that's the love you give me.
Wow.
I'm just asking. That's the love you give me.
Hey, you guys are making me feel bad for supporting this guy.
No.
No,
I'm not
don't
saying
feel bad.
support
Don't
him.
feel bad.
I'm not saying don't support him.
These are his facts.
Yeah,
Remember,
no, but
it's his
I
facts.
agree with you.
I
do agree
love
with you.
Bonang. I think Bonang is and I hate the amount of hatred that she gets on social
agree,
media.
yeah.
She's what we should all be doing is we should be looking at Bonang and saying, damn, started as a Channel O presenter, now has got her own beverage, got her own lingerie, she's got her own reality show, she's doing great things, she's presenting globally, she's out here doing Miss SA.
Yeah.
What can't Bonang do?
Bro, she started on that show on SABC2 giving away calculators to kids. She had those, those big bob braids. I think there's like 5 of them.
Yeah.
You know? and
Humble beginnings.
And like she went to live. I think that's why I admire Bonang's hustle. Like people can go Bonang. To a large degree, that's why I also admire AKA's hustle. I don't. That's why I like him because his arrogance is something that is there. So it's like you love him or hate him, and that is why I'm always a bit on edge with guys like Casper and your Vest because I feel like in the media it's like wow, shout out. But when you see them in like clubs or whatever, they're so. It's like you put them off by trying to be cool. Whereas if you're gonna go to AKA and trying to holla and it's like, hey, bro, like, ease up. You're expecting it because he's an arrogant guy. So if I'm seeing you on social media as being this amazing dude talking about Dr. Shebeleza and everything else, and you're like, you're cool, you're from the hood, you're singing when you're on the roof, everything is chilled, and then I come at you as sort of like relating to you because maybe let's say you shot the video in my hood, so I'm like, okay, we're the same, we're the same people. Let me come and holla. Then you wanna like be like, ease up. For me, that kind of puts me off, and that's a big one as to why I started going to clubs looking for him to I could cut his ponytail. But before,
it's
but
an actual thing.
You're gonna end up with a restraining order. That's what you're gonna end up with.
Are you sure you're not the guy who actually cut his
You're
ponytail
confessing
out?
on a podcast. You're gonna spit another man.
I'm just getting the ponytail.
Bobby Schmurder, about a week ago.
Yeah.
Ago. I can see, guys. Next week's podcast. Well, she's in jail.
Yeah, but I think that's what I wanted to go. And now the last couple of weeks I don't want to make him like a focal topic, but I really go hard on Shane Eagle because they say Shane Eagle is a conscious rapper who's like he's amazing. Like they gloat about this guy like any other woman who gloat over a light-skinned guy. They literally go.
When I and Shane's looks, like I don't get it. You and Shane's
The
looks.
thing is that I think he hates that Shane is like
Shane
that.
is actually he's come down in size from the days of the
hustle.
Jeez, like he was
He's skinny now. Yeah, but
Stress.
what's your take on him? Look, guys, jokes aside, I did listen to some of his music. I think Shane Eagle, he's a talented guy. I mean, on the hustle, Nick, I was saying to them, he's one guy that I felt is an artist. Out of everybody that was there who were very strong lyrically, I felt that he's a guy that would go out and still be an artist because his raps are there, but he has appeal, and maybe that's why he has the following he has now. But I just feel like from a context of being somebody that I can say, wow, that guy is a dope rapper. For me, he's not. So maybe Nick can close this argument for us, and we can go about our lives. Because I don't want to keep talking about this guy. He does nothing for me.
But
Nick said it. Different cheeses for different folks.
Yeah, I feel like when I hear Shane Eagle, I think J. Cole. I think to a certain extent J. Cole.
boom.
But
That's
it's
why
not
he-
a good thing. though. The fact that he sounds like somebody else.
I hear J. Cole. That's all I hear. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it
Different cheeses, man.
yeah, different cheeses? That's
Different
what it goes.
cheeses,
I mean, if I'm gonna buy a certain vehicle and I want that specific look, whether it be a Ferrari, I'm not gonna buy a mimic of a Ferrari. I'll buy the actual Ferrari.
Yeah.
You know, if
Okay.
I'm looking for an Uber van, then I'll get a specific Uber van. I won't go for anything else like a Quantum. You know, it just goes to show that is he my cup of tea? Sometimes on certain songs, but I've yet to find who that's who Shane Eagle is, because when Shane Eagle came onto the scene, he was this money guy, the Eagle thing, the grrr that he used to do. It was weird for me, and I was trying to understand where he fits in, and now he's a conscious rapper. I was like, why were you not a conscious rapper on the show? Why were you a commercial rapper on the show? Is that what you thought we wanted to see? And look at that list of rappers. Where are those guys besides Big Star?
I mean, Kaz. I
Shabzy
think was
Medallion.
Shabzy.
had a EP
you know.
last 2 years ago or last year.
Yeah, I follow some of these guys. I see Jimmy Wiz is doing his thing. I see Huge the Oracle's doing his thing. There's one or two guys that are busy, but it's not on a commercial platform. Look, unless you follow them, you won't really know what they're doing.
Yeah, because I think I saw Shabzy the Medallion. I saw him on a relay poster for Sportsy. I think it was him. Just a guy with the dreads and like beards and glasses.
So you're doing that white people thing.
Yeah,
Every black dude on a poster looks the same.
he's basically doing it
This is America.
No,
in South Africa.
so
at the same time.
to sum this up, I didn't realize,
Yeah.
guys, we actually like spoke about hip hop for a whole hour.
Oh wow.
My
It is
goodness.
a deeper topic.
Yeah, so that's fine. So to sum up where we are, guys, in music right now, what's your take? Where are we going? And should we be excited about where hip hop is
We've
going?
got great artists. We've got
Yeah.
great artists
Yeah.
that are flying the South African flag. At the end of the day, we just got to start making way for new kids. And new kids mustn't, think to themselves that they can't make it. They can. They must find your true sound. Find what works for you.
Should we create more platforms to put some of these? kids
No,
on?
there's
You don't
too
think so?
many platforms. There's way too many platforms already.
But
SoundCloud.
which no, I'm talking about. I mean, you have shows like The Hustle. Then
No,
you have
no.
like
No, no.
that OG show season
See,
2.
the problem with The Hustle, and I've always had problems with reality shows like this, all it takes is one F up,
Yeah.
one episode,
Yeah.
and you're going home.
Yeah.
One
The
slip up,
Exclusive is
one
a pure
bad
example
day
of that.
where
Yeah.
you've got writer's block, and that's it. And you're going home.
Besides
Yeah.
the exclusive and the writer's block, I think it was season 2. Who's
Yeah,
that guy?
that is-
GGTO.
Oh, yes.
TTGO.
What?
Yeah.
What was
I
he
don't have a
doing?
verse, but then he milked that.
What is it?
Yeah.
What was for me? What was he doing there? Because I feel like throughout the whole show, it was the same thing. I don't have a verse, even though he had one. It's as if he just went on the freestyle, whatever came to mind, and the judges loved him for that because okay, Sharp, you quick on your toes. Like I just didn't get his character.
And that's
there.
the thing you got to understand is that, and this reality show is a mirror of the industry. You need to constantly write. You need to be producing music. You need to be putting it out. You need to be constantly mixing it up. What have I got? Have I got a hit this week? Have I got a hit next week? Who am I featuring? Who am I not featuring? What's my new jam? What's my new sound? And this is the pressure of it. And these kids get lost in it, and then the party scene. No, I'll write an album when I need to write an album, and then you fall off the radar.
True.
Should they maybe be promoting their stuff slightly better, or like what is it? Because the thing is, dude, there's so many kids right now that I know are pushing mixtapes, are pushing EPs, singles, whatever it is. Hence, I'm saying, what can be done for them to get the break? I mean, you look at what happened at Ambitious, where it looked like it was gonna be sort of like the Young Money of hip hop, where they had these amazing artists under one roof, and then all of a sudden, everybody is going their separate ways.
With the problem with Ambitious is I think when they signed, they didn't really look into how the contract was set up, because
Okay.
basically Ambitious owns everything that, what's her name again?
Fifi Cooper.
Fifi Cooper, Aries, Benchmark
Yeah.
made. It's theirs. If they to perform that,
Okay.
they're gonna get sued.
You see, once again, it's an age-old tale about signing contracts. Dr. Dre did it with Suge Knight when he was with Death Row Records, and he left without taking anything. We've seen the likes of Zola go through it with Ghetto Rough.
Yes.
Even AKA actually went through that with Fifth Season.
Yes.
He had to a point where he had to start himself all over again. Everything from Fifth Season.
Okay.
gone.
You see, it's an age-old tale. Everybody goes through it because you know why? Because you think to yourself, I've been hustling so long. I just need that break. I just need that guap. Yeah, there's 300,000 rand. Yeah, whatever. I'll sign here. Yeah, sure. Okay, all right, cool. I'm famous. I get my music videos. People don't understand, and you would know, and you're in production. Music videos cost money. Recording costs money. Booking a studio costs money. Who pays for all of this? Who pay? You
That's
at
true.
the end
Yeah.
of the day.
Yeah.
Listen, record labels are just a commercialized machonisa that borrows you the money and takes it back with interest. That's all
I
that
like
it is.
That is the greatest
I think-
allegory ever. I think I'm gonna use that as a tagline.
Okay, I think that's a very good point to close on.
Yeah.
Very good. When Debza said he's bringing a guest to the show, he forgot to mention that this guy is an encyclopedia, guys. Like,
No,
I
man.
got fed, guys.
No, guys, come
No,
on.
the thing is,
satisfied.
can I tell you
What I'm trying to say is that like I'm satisfied
No.
with the knowledge
No,
that he brought on.
I've had conversations with Nick, so I knew. I just didn't want to like
Yeah, you
overhype.
didn't warn us. You
And then
did
they got
not
me on
warn
like,
us.
Debs.
no, you did not warn us
guys.
I
that.
got to engage with someone
Homie.
besides you guys, you know. You all of my homies, but hey, I got to, you know.
Nick,
Next time, stay outside the studio.
Appreciate you.
We're good, yeah.
Appreciate you for coming through, man.
Alright.
We're trying to do what can be done for the culture. You know, we pushing. Hope you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, I did.
Short, but
Yeah.
You know.
Before we go, I have not done this in a while, and I'm probably going to throw myself completely under the bus.
okay.
Let's do a 16.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
Let's do a 16.
For you.
This is going to be an absolute
Wait, I
disaster,
need to
or
record
this is going to be a a success. It's gonna be one of two
my
things, but it's
gosh.
fine.
I'm
Alright.
gonna go with success.
Aye, man. I haven't done this in a while.
And Tulin.
Okay, go for it, Nick.
All right, man. Yo, who I am and what I do, man, that's not important. Because you wouldn't recognize me like roster portraits. Never box me, put X in a box. So keep staring out your windows on streets, you Microsoft. The Bill Gates paid, first gear's engaged. Skills don't get you much, so exposure is my accolade. This is my happy place. Bars like a tavern trade. No need for the lean. Obese bars happy with their weight. Obese bars, diabetics, so they stay sick. That explains why we can't stomach that sweet shit. I'm so slept on, I'm tired of my bed. They said, forget the raps, maybe mumble instead.
Hey.
But I remain like I'm javelin, I'm way over your head. So off with me, I got time to waste. Cause you'll take more L's than Limpopo plates.
That is what it is.
All right, that's a wrap.
Now
No
that's-
more freestyle.
Freaking
That's
I retire.
Mr. Nick
listen.
Explicit.
Nice one.
That's how you end the show, guys. Like,
That is,
my goodness.
Wow.
brother.
All right.
I have a record label. Nick, please write down your details.
I'm
At your
looking for a
board.
Mashonisa. Yes, definitely.
Don't worry, I'm a fair one. No interest charge.
All right, that sounds fair.
Nick, that was fire.
Guys, yeah.
Okay.
I hope that was fire.
Nah.
Jeez, I haven't done this in a while.
I'd freestyle, but I don't freestyle because my style ain't free. So
fine.
I'm just gonna leave it there, guys. This is facts. Kitebza.
It's your boy comes with the mail alpha, the dominator of the frequencies and the areas at large.
And it's your sexy chubby nigga for the day, Vuyo.
Nick, you wanna say something?
And I'm Nick Explicit, the token white rapper who's hanging out with these dudes.
Yeah.
So Nick, before we officially close it off, where can peeps catch you on the socials?
At Nick Explicit across everything, nickexplicit.co.za, nickexplicit.com. You can catch me on iTunes, on Deezer, everywhere. I got an EP out, and do the right thing. Follow me.
You gotta
if
come
you got
back.
any questions, gladly.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nick Explicit.
Nick Explicit. Let's give it up.
I tell you what it's all about.
Fact.